Dope ass dude podcast. Transparent conversation. Real life stories. Hustling, grind, transparent conversation. Real life stories. Hustling, grind.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, the dope ass dude, and I am so excited to be here with you guys on tonight. We have an amazing show that is planned for you all, and I am just really excited to introduce Christopher to you guys and let him, tell you a little bit about himself. But you guys already know the preliminary things. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, if you don't mind going ahead and subscribing to the YouTube channel, and while you're there, click on notifications so that you can be notified each and every time a new podcast is uploaded to the site. And then if you're unable to catch the podcast on Monday nights, you can always catch it on the go. It is on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Again, that's Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And then if you already know, you can watch it live each and every Monday on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. So again, that's Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. And then we'll get my preliminary stuff out of the way. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at the Dope Ass Dude Podcast on both of those platforms. Again, that's the Dope Ass Dude Podcast on both Instagram and TikTok. Let's get Chris' information out of the way as well. You can follow Christopher on Instagram. You can follow him on two handles, actually. You can follow him at Christopher Cooper's Music. You can follow him there. And then you can also follow him at Cooking with the alphabet W, so Cooking W_Chris. So I'm assuming that means Cooking with Chris. So you can find him there. And then you can also find him on TikTok. On TikTok, you can find him at Cooking W_Chris. So again, that's Cooking W_Chris. And then one last place you can follow Chris, you can follow him at Cooper Candle_Company. This guy is doing a lot of stuff. So again, that's Cooper Candle_Company. And that is on Instagram. So I've followed Chris for a little bit now. It's been a while that I've been following him. And I actually started following Christopher because of his music. And he, of course, I'm a musician, and he came up on my timeline. And we started following one another. And Chris is a phenomenal, vocalist. This guy can really not just sing. I mean, because it's really not even about the singing part of it, but this guy can really minister and shift the atmosphere. And he's just really, really good at what he does. And then we finally, because I think it was one day I was out on TikTok, and he popped up on my timeline on TikTok, and he was cooking. And I reached out to him, and I was like, say, dude, you cook? And he was like, come on, dude, you should have known that. And I'm like, hey, I didn't know it. But so I followed him there, and he seems to be a pretty good cook. I haven't had his food yet, so I can't give you guys a real true testimony yet, because me and this brother, we're going to eventually hang out, and I get a chance to taste some of his food. But I'm going to bring Christopher on out, and he can tell you guys about himself. Christopher, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, John. How are you?
I'm amazing. You can't get all calm now, Christopher, because you was hyped before we started. So you done mellowed down. What happened?
Listen, that is how I am. I usually am very chill, very relaxed. Where some folks may feel like, oh, this is a high intense moment because you're doing an interview or a podcast. I actually revert and calm down. This is my This is my chill spot. So that's what I do.
Okay, I mean, I love it. I want you to be you, man. So, hey, that's a good thing. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, Christopher. Where are you from? Like, you got sisters, brothers. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. So I hail from Washington, D.C., by way of San Diego, California, born and raised, where my life started, and military brat. Father was in the Navy, mother was a teacher for 35 years, moved all around, uh, settled in DC, been here ever since. Then pretty much just lived life, worked a lot, and then fell into my own becoming a minister, um, transferring into music and actually putting my own ideas to music, the music that God gives me, and then becoming an entrepreneur. During COVID, found out that God was like, "Hey, I'm about to let your money work for you instead of the other way around." So came up with the Cooper Candle Company. Been doing that since 2021, and also in 2026, I believe May, I started doing the cooking, and that's getting ready to turn into another business venture as well, where I am going to start doing meal prep and maybe eventually catering. So it's just a lot of things are just moving. A lot of different things are shifting right now, and it's just an exciting time. So that's a little bit about me.
So wow, I mean that's a lot going. That's a lot going. So you started out, you're an ordained minister, and then now you have evolved a little bit with your music, evolved into music, and then with your counter company. So like how do you balance all of that? Because a lot of us, and especially because we already know you're like an extreme creative. So how do you balance constantly creating in your mind and then making these things come to life? And without letting something go because you continuously adding on.
That's right. That's right. Listen, I will have to attribute it, and I will have to give a shameless plug to ADHD for real, because I was diagnosed with ADHD as a kid. Test subject for Ritalin. Hey y'all. So that's probably the one thing that has kept me in multiple spaces at one time and not getting tired. That creative side of my brain is an ADHD person's mecca for ideas and staying excited because you're always wanting to keep that right side of your brain entertained at all times. So that's where the music comes in. That's where the cooking comes in. That's where the candle company comes in because it's always something that's ever evolving. It's not something that stays stagnant. So that keeps my brain excited to keep going and pushing and finding out what's new. What's happening, what's the latest taste, what's the latest flavor, just all of those kinds of things I would have to definitely attribute to ADHD. And also, my phone keeps me very scheduled, uh, very, very highly scheduled. Um, if we still had Blackberries, I would use my Blackberry to keep me moving and keeping everything straight. But that's pretty much what it is.
Wow. So okay, so I mean, I think we've all heard of ADHD, and normally, people there's a negative kind of like thing with ADHD. Some people just look at, oh, they hard head. That's what we used to call them back in the day. Everybody was hard heads.
I was I was able to maneuver through, but it was a challenge, I'm not going to lie. But now as an adult, I have miraculously, through the grace of God, I believe, have outgrown a lot of those hindrances and issues that come along with ADHD, which I know some adults do. And some adults have to still, be on medication and things like that. But that was how I was able to maneuver through school. Definitely a
Yeah,
support system.
yeah, and I mean, I thank God for like the growth in people, and now because, like I said, back then there was limited resources, whereas now we have all of these resources. You can Google things, you can really study it. But like what we said before, people and teachers, educators, they didn't know back in the day. They didn't know these things. So again, I feel for people who grew up with it before people became into the awareness of what ADHD is, because you are treated different, and the patience level seems to be a little bit shorter than it is with someone else, because like you said, when you walk in the room, they already, their attitude change. Their attitude instantly changes because, oh, here go the hard head kid again, I got to deal with him. But it was due to the lack of knowledge that they had back then. So I can only empathize how hard that could have possibly been for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, so you've grown into it and you've learned how to allow it to work for you. You've allowed it to learn how that. So, with everything going on, so let's talk about the ordained minister. And actually, you said you're from San Diego. I'm flying to San Diego in 2 weeks, actually. I'm gonna hang out there a couple of days. So I need some food recommendations while I'm there.
Nice,
But
nice. Okay.
yeah, so but let's talk about you becoming an ordained minister. How old were you when you accept your calling?
Accepted the calling and then actually walked in it, let's say, are two different things.
Okay, okay, let's break it down. Let's break it
So
down.
so I'll start with one and then I'll get to the other. Um, Ever since a child, uh, always been told unique. There's something different about you. You're anointed. Those kind of things, those seeds were always planted as a child. I would probably say I recognized that I was called maybe about 18 years old. I had my first solo in spring show in high school, and it was a song because people always knew me as the church boy or the church kid um, growing up. And so I had my first solo at the spring show, and they gave me a specific song that fit my voice type and who I was or known as, which was the church boy. And the euphemism, it was a train going out of a station, that kind of song. But the way that it was written was in a church theme. So I sang it, and when I was done, the people were cheering and clapping and all of that. Also, while in high school, I was in the choir at church. They would always give me solos or leads because the people would feed off of the anointing that God would use me during those moments. And so I realized, okay, I guess there is an anointing, a calling there. But of course, my dad beat that into me. He was like, "No, you are called, you are anointed. I know God showed me this about you." My mom as well. They are very in tune with the spirit of God. And so I always trust them when they talk in that tone. Um, when I accepted the actual calling was I was in Georgia, and I believe this was 2010. And the Lord hit me one night while I was in prayer, and He said, "It's time for you. You've been running for too long." And I said, "What do you mean, Lord? Be a little more specific." And He's like, "You've been running from your calling. I have called you to my people to bring my people back to me in whatever capacity and where I place you, because everywhere that you go, you're bringing them into the fold." So I said, "Okay, well, you're going to have to show me." Well, about 2 or 3 months later, uh, I was told that God gave the pastor at the ministry that I was at the vision that I was to be called to ministry and to be a minister of the gospel. Uh, that's a heavy weight because I'm sure, as we all know, being in the church today is different than what it
Yeah,
was. The
yeah,
the the thought process that people have concerning the church is a little more harsh. Um, So I was always thinking about stuff like I'm not good enough to do this. I'm not. Mm, no thanks. I'm good. But then I really just got to push and had a lot of conversations with other ministers to say they weren't ready when they got their call, but they accepted the call because it's easier to accept it than to run away from it. It'll make life a lot harder for you. So I said, okay, I'll accept the call. And then I was ordained and licensed, and I've just been running under the wing of the Lord the whole time. And it's been a process the whole time, but it's been a blessing as well.
Yeah. So do you think there is a such thing as being ready?
In my experience, no. No, I really don't because even when I know that I've prepared and I have read and I have fasted and prayed, even moments before I do whatever, singing, speaking, just being amongst people, there is always this sense of nervousness and just being unnerved to not misrepresent God in wherever he has me. So I don't personally feel that way. I mean, some folks may, but I've also heard the term that when you feel like you've made it and you're ready, that's where mistakes happen.
Mhm,
That's
mhm.
where your ego jumps in. That's where your own legendary status will pop in. So I always try to remain humble and just say, Lord, wherever you lead me, I want you to follow. I want to follow you wherever you lead me. And I don't want to mess this up because this is you.
Yeah, because I've heard stories of people who said that, they thought they were ready, and then as soon as they accept the calling, it seemed like the world falls apart. And then so it's like instantly you go into a stretch moment. And I mean, I hear people say, oh, well, God is testing me. Sometimes God is just actually stretching you, and he's pulling you into higher. And I've known people who have accepted it and they were like, oh yeah, I'm ready, I'm good to go. And then they accept, and then life happens, and then they realize that, hey, maybe I have a little bit more to do, a little bit more to go. And yeah, so yeah, that's why I asked, do you think there's a thing as such as ready for it? So because I mean, it's when you're accepting callings, I think it's more of a trust journey, because you're trusting God that, like, God, you sure it's me? Is you sure you chose me for this here? And you just never know what your future holds, you know, because ministry, and this here, ministry is not all about speaking on the pulpit. There's so much more and so much that comes with ministry. So okay, cool. Okay. So you believe now you ready, you equipped, or
I'm just ever trusting. I'm just ever leaning on those arms. I don't ever want to say I'm ready because then I could be knocked down a peg to show me that I'm not. So I'll just always try to stay as humble as I can. But
Yeah,
but I am ready to go wherever he leads me though. So I will say that.
I love that. I love that. And well, some people call it, you can look at it as scary or you can look at it as exciting, because wherever he leads you, he's already equipped you for that moment. So it's like
Right.
you just have to trust him that where you headed, it's a good thing. So it's good for you. So okay, so then you transitioned over, you evolved into music. You evolved into music. How was that transition for you?
The transition from ministry to music was an interesting one. I thought it would be easy. You see artists doing that all the time. Uh, just for example, and I love her. She's an amazing person. But you see, like artists, let's say like Dorinda Clark Cole. She's been a preacher, teacher, prophetess for years. And doing the music. You just see different people, and they make it look easy. Um, I knew I always had the gift to do music, but from my own heart, that was always very sacred and private to me. So it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. But once I got into the studio with a producer that kind of understood my heart and where I wanted to go and what I wanted to portray, and we worked for over a year, just making sure that the lyrics were right and that I was exploring every facet of who I was and not just holding back, so to speak. And it has become easier because it's led into other avenues where I've been in the studio as a vocal director. I've been in the studio to write. I've been in the studio to help other folks do music as well. So it's really just a part of that trusting God in that process. But in the beginning, it was a journey to kind of pour out from your heart because that's personal.
Yeah, and when you pour out from your heart and you share it with the world, you put your things on a shelf for people to criticize, for people to judge, for people to comment on, because we live in a world now that everybody has something to say.
Right.
Everybody has a comment. Everybody's a critic, and everybody can tell you whether something is good or not. So I do understand how it can be scary to put yourself up there for people to say whatever they want to say, because people love going into the comments. So do they
Yes, they
love,
do.
yeah, they love those comments, man. They love those comments. So okay, so when you did that and you put your music out there, and when was it well received originally, or how was that process for you? Was it what you expected?
Thankfully, it was well received. It was very well received. Uh, the only time where I had a negative feedback, it wasn't even towards the music that I had released. They were speaking, and I really believe it was a trick of the enemy to kind of knock me off of that high of being, you know, sure of the gift that God has given me. But I was at work. A lady, we so happened to go to the same church, and she walked into where I was, and she said, "I really don't like the way you sing. I really don't like it. I hear you on Sundays, and I just can't stand it when you hold that mic." Restraint kicked in because we all have that we all have that frosty side if you kick it up. Thankfully, I was saved at the time, but I said, "Thank you for your opinion. Have a blessed day." And that was the end of that. But I didn't realize that the seed that she was sowing in that moment, it actually took root. Because then after that, I started to have a little self doubt about my gift, about being live, about singing, about hearing my voice. So it's it's uh it's very interesting how one person in the comments or in person can derail something that has been good and not for the money's sake, but lucrative as well, and so then you retreat and you step outside of the will because this person knocked you off of that, or you allowed this person to knock you off. But reception was very good initially with music, and as I've continued to put out music, it's been well. And I just don't listen to the comments anymore. I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, when you said the lady that you worked with, she went to your church, instantly when you said that my eyes squinted because I was like about ready to it's funny. It's like people think that they can say, especially church people, they will say anything to you whenever they want to. And because you are in the church and because you are a worship leader, you're supposed to handle them with grace, and they are not doing that same thing for you. So I do give you a lot of respect for that, for just thanking her and moving on from it, because it is, again, it goes back to when we put our gifts out there, we're putting it out there for it to be scrutinized by people. And sometimes we think that most people, especially the people in the church, we think they would have enough grace towards us that they wouldn't say those type of things to us. But we also have to understand that the church, a lot of church people are hurt themselves.
That's right.
And I read a book one time, and one of the principles in it is take nothing personal, because people they treat you based on how they are feeling at that moment. And sometimes you have to just say, maybe she having a bad morning, or and in real time it's not this easy to do that, but you have to take someone else's problems or their life into consideration as to why they will walk up to you and say something like that to your face. So yeah, that yeah. I can only imagine. I don't even know how I probably would handle it, because God hasn't delivered me from cussing yet. So I probably would have got fired that day and probably would have cussed her out and all of that other kind of stuff. No, I'm just playing. I wouldn't have got fired. I would have cussed her out though. But yeah, I'm just playing on that too. But yeah, but it's like but honestly, I can't imagine how I would have felt in that moment in real time for someone to walk up to you, because you gave your gift. You put your heart out there for people to do it. And you just, it's, if you have nothing nice to say, just be quiet. Just be quiet.
That's the word. Just be quiet.
Just be
Keep
quiet.
keep it to yourself.
Hmm. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. But that's another thing too. People don't get, lady, we at work. We ain't at church. Like, you could have been having a bad day and like gone off on her. Like, yeah.
And there was a time when I may have,
Yeah.
it bad days, are few and far between, but if you catch me on the wrong one, you may. But yeah, it's definitely the grace that kept me from
Yeah.
speaking.
Yeah. Okay. So I know that you've done music and you share with me that you're a part of a group. Is the group there in the DMV as well?
It is.
Okay. You want to talk a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So I am a part of a group that my godmother started. Her name is Bev Johnson, and she created a group called My Praise, My Worship. And it's a music and arts ministry that goes into the communities and help youth that are able to give scholarships to different youth within the community, but we also have the music aspect of it as well. So we go around the DMV and sing at different conferences and different events that are there. And I am the uh, assistant director, also prayer warrior minister of the ministry as well.
Okay. And okay. So have the group recorded?
Yes, yes. She has, oh goodness, how many albums does she have? She has two full albums and then she has singles out as well.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when are you releasing some more music?
Good question. I am actually in the studio now working on music. My next single, hopefully, is a song that will kind of take you back to old school gospel, maybe like the Hawkins with a little bit of like a Earth, Wind, and Fire feel, the horns, the melody. But the song will be called Heaven. I want to go there. And so it's just gonna be a nice, smooth, you know, easy listening gospel. I'm not gonna be yelling at you or screaming at you. We're gonna take it smooth so that the Lord can come in.
Okay, Chris. So I'm about to put something on the screen. One of the listeners, they asked, can he sing a little something for us? So why don't you sing a little bit of heaven for us? Take us there.
Well, I can't do heaven yet because it's not done.
Okay, okay. Well, what was your Let Your Glory? That's your other tune you released, right? Let Your
Yes, it
Glory, I think that.
is.
So yeah, so sing a little bit of that.
Lord have mercy. You would put me on the spot, wouldn't you? Let's see here. Oh gosh, you know what? Actually, Let me actually think about the song first
Okay. Okay.
because I want to think of the right part.
Okay. So you have 28 minutes and 33 seconds to come up with a part of that song you're gonna sing, sir. You got okay, so Tony, he's gonna come back with something. And Tony, he's the MD at the church that he's my boss at the church. He's the minister of music there, and he's doing an amazing job. But he's one of those people, like I told you when the lady walked in from your church, I squint my eyes. He's one of those people. I squint my eyes every time I see his name on the screen because I don't know what this brother is asking. He on good behavior tonight though. But yeah, so I squint my eyes when I see him. So okay, so
I
you
will
now
definitely do it. I will. I will.
okay. Okay, so now you are doing cooking. You have your own cooking platform. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, sir. So it all started way back in, I guess, 97. Do we even remember it that far back anymore? But um, just being in the kitchen, parents both worked, siblings doing their own thing. And I'm the youngest, by the way. So, um, yeah, just learning how to cook on my own. Um, First starting with noodles, then watching Julia Child, if anybody remembers that. Um, I was a PBS kid, so I used to watch a lot of PBS growing up, and they always had the cooking shows. Jacques Pepin, Jan Can Cook, um, folks like that. So I used to watch what they would do, watch how they seasoned. I would go into the freezer, the deep freezer, and try to make what they did right after them. So um, my mom, my sisters saw the gift and they took me under their wings and started showing me how to do it. No, you don't boil water on low because that's it's not going to boil. You start put it on high so that it stays hot. Um, you know, so um, just teaching me the little things and how to season and how to taste as you go and not lose your taste buds in doing that. And I've been cooking ever since. I have cooked for family, I've cooked for friends. And in 2026, I said, you know what? There's another gift. I always wanted to go to culinary school, but I didn't because I felt like I would lose the passion if I went into it and it became work. That's the ADD brain. So, so I then just started cooking, and I was like, you know what? I could actually put this online. Everybody else is out there cooking, so I started filming it. I started with just filming my hands, doing everything, and then it went into an actual show of me showing myself and cooking. And now I'm getting ready to go into other aspects of cooking for others, and that's just how it started. But I'm officially doing it now.
Yeah, so you said something pretty interesting. You said, well, let me put it out there. Everyone else is doing it. And I think that's kind of like how the social media, the internet is saturated with different things, podcasts, cooking shows, all of these type of things. But what makes your cooking show different than everybody else's? Why should someone look at you?
Because it's me. How else? No, 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 no. Well, my thing is, and I know a lot of people may do this, but I actually like to give my recipes out. I know a lot of people like to keep those things to themselves. I'm the type of person, if I got it, you can have it too. I don't need to hold anything for myself. If I know it tastes good, you can make it and you can eat it. So I'm the type of person, if you give me a recipe, I'll make it my own and then I'll share it back with you. I am very big on letting people see the whole process from beginning to end, even mistakes. I know a lot of folks like to make it look perfect and beautiful in the end. I keep it all in there. Um, I should probably do a blooper reel, but I just really like to let folks see cooking because I want people that don't know how to cook learn how to cook, but then also those who know how to cook continue and grow their ability in cooking. So I just want it to be for everybody at every stage level.
Love it. So here's another thing, Chris, that you are putting yourself out there on the shelf for people to scrutinize. I mean, that seemed to be your thing, man. You like constantly putting yourself out there, and that's amazing that you do that because you're not allowing previous experience to hinder you from moving forward and continue to step out there. So, did you get great feedback when you started this here?
Actually, with the cooking, I've had nothing but good feedback. I thank God I have not received any negative comments thus far. I think people will throw their opinion in there of maybe I would have done it this way, but no one has ever said, "Oh my gosh, that looks nasty," or you know how trolls can be on the internet. You know,
Yeah.
they just say whatever and then they hide behind their faceless profiles. But I have not received that, and I hope not to.
Yeah, yeah, I hope you don't either. But you can call me, I'll respond to him. I'm just playing.
Sounds good to
I'm
me.
just playing. So we got Gay Arbuck out there, and she said this is encouraging. Now I'm not sure if you know Gay Arbuck.
I
Have you?
don't. I don't.
Okay, so well, you
I'm
probably
saying thank you.
know her for sure because she's a national recording artist, and one of her most noted songs is "Miracles and Blessings," and it was a song that was like it took the world by storm, and she was on recently within the last maybe 6 years, 7 years. She was on Anthony Brown City, so she's like a phenomenal singer
Nice.
and a phenomenal worship leader. Like hands down, I feel she's one of the best out today. She's one of the best
Mhm.
worship leaders out today. But Gay has transitioned. She started out as an artist, and her path is a little bit similar to yours as well. She started out as an artist, but well, a musician because she plays as well. And like I tell all the time, she can sit down on the organ. I think a woman on the organ is so sexy, and she already know it, so she already know it. But Gay, she's an organist, and then she started out as a recording artist, and then she's transitioned from recording artist into worship leader.
Mhm.
And then now she has transitioned from worship leader, and she still does all of these things. But now she has a platform. Her mother is living with dementia. So she's
Mhm.
become a caregiver, and she has allowed every stage she's been on, it is creating a new stage for her where she's bringing awareness to different things. And I love that about you. I love that about her because in the church or in the world would put us in boxes and they'll be like, oh, Chris, you're the singer. That's all you're supposed to do.
That's
That's
right.
all you, and they don't ever expect you to evolve or do anything differently. But it's like you are as well with Gay, you're doing all of these different things with excellence. You're singing, you're preaching, you're cooking, and nothing has missed off. Nothing has slacked. Is that hard to maintain the level of excellence in everything?
That's a heavy question, but I would. I'll put it like this. This may sound churchy, but if I did not have God holding my hand the entire way, yes, I would have crumbled. I would have failed. I would have dropped everything. But as long as I hold on to his hand as he walks me through managing and juggling with that ADHD brain, I can I can be successful. That's really who I attribute all of the excellence to. And I always have in the forefront of my mind that if you do anything unto God in excellence, he'll bless it. So that's always every time I'm doing something, every video, every song, every written piece or what have you that I do, I always say, God, I give this to you. Take over it, take charge, and I know it'll be blessed, and I know that it will be unto you the way that you want it to be. So that's probably the best way that I can give it because I can't do it on my own, and I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. I love that because like I said, you're constantly evolving into greater and you're constantly creating well, God is constantly opening up stages for you and he's creating different areas for you to yeah, be exposed and for different people to see you in different things, which open their eyes to something else you're doing too. Cause that's like me. I only knew you for music. And then out of nowhere, here it is, you pop up and you're cooking. And then I started following you there, and I just see like the greatness all over you. And I think that's pretty dope that you're doing everything. You're doing everything. You are not allowing people to put you in boxes. And that's one encouraging word I want to give people that are watching tonight. Many people are multifaceted. They have so many gifts that they are, God has given them. And if they could learn how to channel it, that they can do everything because you don't have to stop doing one thing because you're doing another. You just have to find out how to balance it and to continue to do it and continue to do it with excellence. And the things that for me, the things that I am called to do, I do it effortless. I don't feel drained after I do it. I don't feel that it's a hassle. I'm excited about it, which pushes me to do it with excellence. So yeah.
And you do a great job.
I'm trying, man. I mean, shoot, you know how I mean, for real, as for creatives, it's hard sometimes. And it is easy to get into the likes when you see that maybe you got more likes here and you didn't get a lot of likes as many here. It's easier to allow that to mess with your psyche a little bit, and you be like, mm, is that the right thing to do? Or and then you'll start doing crazy stuff, chasing the likes. Always stay true to yourselves, people. Always stay, don't chase the likes. Don't chase the likes.
Never chase the likes. And I've always seen it and heard it like this from artists from long ago until now. If you chase the fame and the likes and the applause, you will do anything to get it because that will be your fuel. So if you're not true to yourself and stay true to your morals, beliefs, and understanding of that, you could go anywhere just to get a like.
Yeah, I love
Very
that.
good.
Yeah, that is so true. So let's talk about Cooper Candle. Cooper
Yes,
Candle Color. So, and we need to give. We need to give like 2 or 3 candles away tonight. Zell you the money or whatever. We're gonna get some candles away. So, tell us a little bit about your candle company.
absolutely. So Cooper Candle Company was formed during COVID. I was sitting around like everybody else, staring at the walls, watching TV, watching everything take place. And I was like, okay, I need something to do. And since we can't go outside, we can't, you know, be around each other, let me do something that at least will fuel this ADHD brain. So I prayed. I said, Lord, give me something. He said, okay, go into the candle business. I said, candles? Really? Why candles? I mean, there's tons of other things out there that you could do. Well, he said, one, the resources are easy. You can obtain your business license, things like that online. You didn't have to go in any lines, formulate any documentation that you can't do through email or what have you. So, lo and behold, okay, he showed me how to do the research to find things, uh, different candle products and other mechanisms that I now have. And it developed into the Cooper Candle Company. It was effortless. I just always go back to if you just ask God, He'll show you. He, like you said, He makes it effortless, and that's how it started. Really, just asking God, what next, and that's how I got it.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. Like, I think we've become so self reliant that we forget. Yeah, sometimes just ask God, ask God for it. And I never forget Gay, she was on the podcast once before, and she told us, she said she's told God, I want to sing for a president. She said she wanted to sing for a president. So and this is a true story, and I never forget the day I saw this happen. I almost cried. I saw it happening. So she said, God, I want to sing for president. And she just went on about her business or whatever. So then she got a call to sing here in Dallas at an event. It was I think some soldiers were killed in the war or something like that. I never forget. It was a funeral, but a memorial service, and so she got a call, and she was like, they said, "Hey, we want you to come and sing." And I didn't know that she was singing on a show or whatever. I'm sitting here at the house, and my computer was on, and I was like, I wasn't even paying attention. I was like, dang, that sound like Gay. That's what I'm thinking. That sounded like Gay. And then I go and I watch it. And dude, God blessed her to sing for, in one setting, three presidents. Three
Wow.
presidents. She sung for Obama, she sung for Biden, and she sung for Bush. And all three of them were right there in that one setting, and she did not realize that it was going to be to that magnitude. And when I tell you she killed, man, she sung Total Praise, and dude, she just like rocked the house. I think they gave her like a standing ovation at the end because she was just that phenomenal, man. And she just told God, "Hey God, I want to sing for president." And I think a lot of times we've gotten out of that, asking God and telling God our dreams and telling him what we want to do, because we believe we're the ones that make it happen. No, I mean, it's him. He's the source. He's the source of it all. So yeah, sometimes you just got to tell God. But like I said, when I saw that, man, her doing that, that was a true testament that he hears us. He hears our heart when it's given to him in pure. And then, like I said, she sung for Obama, Biden, and Bush. All three of them were in the same setting, sitting right next to each other with their wives and everything. And it was just phenomenal, man. Just
Now that's encouraging to me because maybe I need to aim a little higher when
yeah.
I'm going to God myself, especially concerning the music aspect. So, wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Definitely ask him for the extreme, man, because what we believe is extreme, that's small for him. So shoot, dude,
Love that.
unbelievable. Yeah, I'm asking for the unbelievable, bro. Cause yeah. So okay, so we're gonna let you sing, and then we're gonna give away 3 candles. I already see Tony he just said JP he want a candle. So we're gonna give away 2 additional candles. And yeah, so we're gonna do 3 candles. So go ahead and sing whatever you want to sing, Chris.
All right. I think I will do. Okay. Make sure I'm all good. I lift my hands in total adoration unto you. For you reign on the throne, for you are God and God alone. Because of you, my cloudy days are gone. I can sing to you this song. I just want to say that I love you more than anything. Love me in your arms. You are my shelter from the storm. When all my friends were gone, you were right there all along. I never known a love like this before. I just want to say that I love you more than anything. Let me just go to the next part real quickly.
Yeah, I'm about to say you got to keep going, bro.
I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. There you go, just a little bit. Sorry. Just wanted to-
That's what I'm talking about, man. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That was amazing, dude. That was amazing. That was amazing. Okay, so Chris, let's see here. What's a question what have something we talked about tonight that we can make them put the answer in there and we give away 2 candles. So what's something we can ask them?
Like a trivia question on what we
Yeah,
talked
well,
about,
some we
and they
talked
give the
about
answer.
tonight. Yeah, let's see if they were paying attention. Um, hmm.
That's not now. See, now that's a hard question.
Yeah, that's a hard question. That's a hard question. I agree. That is a hard question.
Okay, when did Christopher Cooper start the Cooper Candle Company?
Oh yeah, drop that in the comment. I might need to put that in there so I can win a candle. Yeah, when did he start the candle company? He said it, and it's like it's a pretty easy answer, and you don't have to have the year. He gave during the
Right,
time period that he started.
right. We'll get
COVID, Charlotte Flowers. She got it. C Flow 333. She got it. COVID. That's right.
woo. That's
Woo
right.
woo.
Ding,
Okay,
ding,
so
ding.
ding ding ding. Okay, and Miss
I'll
Tiff
let
said,
you ask one. I'll let you start one.
okay. This may be no, they don't know this one here. I was about to ask who sings that song you just sung. I mean, what artist sings that, but that's kind of hard. That may be kind of hard because they haven't put the music out in a while.
They haven't,
Yeah, they
and
haven't
a
put the
lot of
music out in a while.
people have done that song, so that
True
might
that.
confuse the question.
Yeah, true that. Charlotte is asking, what did he first start cooking? What was the first thing you started cooking?
Good question. The first dish I made was chicken parmesan. I breaded the chicken. I did the fettuccine noodles with the sauce and did a side of sauteed broccoli. That was my very first dish.
Now, is that a hard dish to prepare? Because on these cooking shows like Top Chef, I've seen some people go home for cooking that. Like, is that a hard is that a hard dish to cook?
Maybe for someone who's along the lines of the worst cook in America. I mean, I think it's easy. No, and I don't mean it like that because there is actually a show called The Worst Cooks in America.
Yeah,
But
I know.
I I think it's easy. You just boil your noodles, you bread you bread your chicken. Um s- okay, the hardest part of it is probably seasoning. You got to make sure that you season your chicken and wash it too. I know a lot of people don't want to wash their stuff, but make sure you wash your chicken before you cook it.
Yeah, clean your chicken, clean your chicken. Okay. So okay, let me see here. Need to come up with another question here. I'm gonna get this because they've got another question for you. Which cuisine would you like to explore?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I love international cuisine, eating it. I'm funny story. I'm actually in this space right now where I'm trying out cuisines around the world, and posting it. So my first was actually beef empanadas. That'll be posted, I believe, either today or tomorrow. But the cuisine I want to explore a little more would probably be Japanese.
Hmm.
Japanese, yeah. I love Asian food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, okay, I have a question for y'all. Where is Christopher originally from? Where was he born? And I said that, and I made it easy for y'all because I said I'm traveling there in a couple of weeks. So, where was he originally born? Let's see if they get this here, Chris. If not, I'm gonna put the answer in. I'm gonna win the candle.
Go for it. That's actually
Oh, Miss Tiff got it. She said San Diego. Yeah, that's
okay.
right. San Diego. San Diego. And
Good job.
Charlotte is trying to win all the candles. Lord, she came back with San Diego too. But okay, so we got Miss Tiff and we have Charlotte Flowers and Tony Davis. Those are the three we're gonna give the candles to. If you guys can text me your mailing address, if you could text me your mailing address, we would get the because you ship, right, Christopher? Well, I hope
Yes.
you ship.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, so we'll get these candles to you guys. I'm gonna send him money and then he'll get the candles to you guys. Is there a website or a place they can go look to see what scents you have?
Yes, I was just about to bring that up because I don't want to send you something you don't want. Um, the website is www.thecoopercandlecompany.com, and it has all the scents on there that are available. If there's anything that I don't have, I am more than willing to look to better serve you. So, yeah.
And then when you guys do that, once you pick out your information, DM me or text me which candle you picked as well. And then that way I can let Chris know so I can give him the correct amount of money and shipping and all of those type of things. So if you don't mind just hitting him up, go get that candle. And this has an expiration date. So if you're gonna be waiting until next month and be texting me about, hey, here's my candle, I'm gonna be like, who are you? And I know you. I'm gonna be like, who are you? But so text me by the end of the week or DM me by the end of the week so we can get these candles to you guys. Christopher, this has been amazing, man. This has been amazing having you on here. And I am so proud of you and everything that you're doing. And I encourage you to continue to move and continue to, you know, yeah, continue to do your thing.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here. I had a lot of fun. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Oh, and Chris, one question that I've been asking every guest this season is if you could go back in time and you could change something in your past, would you? And if so, what would that thing be?
Ooh, that's tough. See, you're going to make me take up the last minute. Uh, actually, where I am now, I will put it like this. I would not change anything in my past, only because everything that I've been through, everything that I've seen, everything that I've experienced has shaped me into the man that I am today. And I don't take any situation as happenstance. It all worked to form me, to grow me, to develop me, and caused me to offer a lot of forgiveness, a lot of grace, and a lot of love to people who have done things that were contrary to what I would want them to do. And I'll just plug a little scripture in there. All things work together for the good of them that love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. So I stand on that 100%. No matter what has happened, it's still worked out for my good.
Mhm, mhm. That has been the consistent answer. Everyone has answered that question exactly the same. They wouldn't change anything because the life they have today, yeah, yeah, they wouldn't change anything. So that is just an amazing place to be. And guys, so next Monday we'll be back. Kasal Henry, one of the show's favorite. He's the actually only guest that's been on here on the podcast before. He'll be back with us. And then I saw Courtney out in the comments. She's gonna close us out. So we have 3 more episodes. Kasal Henry be on next week, and then Darius McDonald the following week to discuss his new book. And then Courtney Johnson, she's going to close us out. She's an aspiring artist. She shared her story with me. And guys, you are going to love these next 3 guests. So make sure that you are logged in next Monday, the next 3 Mondays, 7 p.m. And I look forward to seeing you guys then. All right, then, Chris, thank you again for coming on, man.
Thank you.
All right, peace.
Yeah. Real life stories and transparent conversations, hustle and grind, love and relationships, with all the tools for living your best life. It's the Dope As Do Podcast. The Dope As Do Podcast.